Good evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Sultanate and the United Kingdom stressed that the joint military exercise Safe Syria 3 came in the framework of exchanging expertise between the two friendly countries. The United Nations praises the Sultanate's efforts in providing high-level services for patients. And Asyad Group discusses in Geneva the role of the Omani women in economy and building their community. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos received a cable of thanks from His Highness Sheikh Sabah al-Ahmed al-Jabbar al-Sabah, Emir of Kuwait, in reply to His Majesty's cable of condolences on the death of Sheikh Fariha al-Ahmed al-Jabbar al-Sabah. His Majesty the Sultan sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Dr. Frank Walter Steinmeier, President of Germany, on the occasion of his country's National Day. Safe Syria 3 is a joint military exercise that will take place in the second half of October 2018 between the Sultan's armed forces and the British armed forces. The exercise is not only a clear manifestation of the deep-rooted friendly relations between the two countries, it also forms a part of their bilateral training plans as well as sharing and exchanging expertise of joint military operations. This milestone joint military venture is a successor to the previous joint exercises, Safe Syria 1 and 2, and is aimed at enhancing the combat effectiveness and readiness of both countries' armed forces. The Sultan's armed forces will participate fully in this major exercise, where all land, air and naval units, government agencies and other security services will work side by side with their British counterparts. To achieve the overall objectives, the exercise also aims at enhancing cooperation through contemporary joint military doctrine and plans relevant to modern technology, interagency cooperation, interoperability and strategic planning. Today's combat operations call for the use and optimization of all elements of national power following a modern approach to joint operational planning. The two governments of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, Supreme Commander of the Armed Forces, and of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth are keen to conduct such an exercise between the armed forces of the two friendly countries. Both countries enjoy strong bonds that have existed for centuries and served as a model of defence cooperation. These relations have developed from strength to strength and have withstood the test of time despite the changing global economic and political environment. His Excellency General Sultan bin Mohammed Al Numani, Minister of the Royal Office, received today at his office His Excellency Mark Lancaster, British Minister of Defence. His Excellency the Minister of the Royal Office welcomed the guest and his accompanying delegation. During the meeting, the two sides discussed matters of common concern and ways to enhance them to serve the interests of the two friendly countries. From his side, the guest expressed his thanks and appreciation, stressing his country's keenness to enhance all aspects of cooperation between the Sultanate and the United Kingdom, as well as preparations of implementing the military exercise as Safe Syria 3. His Excellency Syed Badr bin Saud Al Saidi, Minister responsible for Defence Affairs, received in his office at Muaskar Beit Al Falaj today His Excellency Mark Lancaster, Minister of State for the Armed Forces of the United Kingdom. The meeting reviewed aspects of military cooperation between the two countries and the means of enhancing them. They also shared views on issues of mutual interest. The visit coincided with the ongoing national exercise Al-Shamouk 2 and the joint exercise Safe Syria 3 being carried out by the Sultan's armed forces and the British armed forces. The British guest praised the good preparations and measures taken to receive the Royal British Armed Forces taking part in the exercises. The troops arrived at the Sultanate through Adukum Port or Omani airports. His Excellency Mark Lancaster, Minister of State for the Armed Forces in the United Kingdom, paid today a visit to the headquarters of the military exercise Al Shamouk II, which is being currently implemented by the Sultanate with participation of a number of military, security and civil sectors. Al Shamouk II will be followed directly by the joint As Safe as Saraya III exercise, which will be executed with the UK Royal Armed Forces during the second half of this month. At the headquarters of the Exercise Command, the UK Minister was received by Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith Al Napani, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces, Director of the Exercise and SAF commanders. The guest was briefed on stages of implementing the exercise. He and his accompanying delegation were also briefed during their tour on training plans and activities of the exercise. Public institutions participated in the National Military Exercise Shamouk II and the Oman-UK Joint Military Exercise Swift Sword III by providing non-military support during the mock exercise. Media institutions documented and provided coverage to the events of the exercise, while the Ministry of Commerce provided logistic support to secure essentials and food. The wide participation by public institutions comes in line with national work to provide security and maintain stability during peace and war. The Royal Army of Oman has activated the deployment plan for its commands, divisions and units to participate in the Al Shamouk II and Al Saif as Saraya exercises. The process started by the activation of air bridge and field transport for a number of military equipment and vehicles through tactical transport planes of the Royal Air Force of Oman. The associated plan for the deployment of other field units will be activated consecutively and side by side with the deployment of other participating divisions of the Sultan's armed forces and military bodies as per their roles and missions and according to land, air and sea deployment operations plan. As part of the Sultanate's celebration of World Heart Day, which falls on September 28th each year, Oman Heart Association, in collaboration with the National Heart Centre, organised an open day at Muscat Grand Mall. The event was presided over by His Excellency Syed Saud bin Halal Al Busaidi, Minister of State and Governor of Muscat. Our reporter Salah bin Khalfan Al Rabi has more details in the following report.
In celebration of the World Heart Day, Oman Heart Association, in collaboration with the National Heart Centre, held an open day aiming to raise awareness among the community about the cardiovascular disease and highlight the risk factors that should be taken into consideration to prevent this disease.
The importance of this day to remind people that their health, and especially their heart health, is very important, and it is in most of it in their hands, not the healthcare providers' hands. The risk factors for heart disease are well known: high blood pressure, raised blood lipid, which is cholesterol, obesity, that's increased weight, and lack of physical activities. Unfortunately, all these factors are increasing worldwide. In Oman and all advanced countries, heart disease, cardiovascular diseases are the commonest cause of death. Unfortunately, in our region, the death from heart disease happens 10 years younger than their counterparts in Europe. We can do a lot about this, but not the healthcare providers, everybody. Everybody is responsible to look after their health.
The theme of this year's World Heart Day is My Heart, Your Heart, urging individuals to make a promise to eat healthy food, exercise and be more active, to live longer, better and more heart healthy.
The theme of this year World Heart Day celebration is My Heart, Your Heart. It's very important to take care of the health of the heart, as we know that the most important causes of the cardiovascular disease is physical inactivity, unhealthy food, high blood pressure, obesity, diabetes. So it's very important to control all these risk factors in order to reduce the burden of the heart disease.
We are in the Oman Heart Association. We try to contribute to the public awareness by organizing such an event, make them more aware about the risk factors which cause the cardiac disease, which include, of course, number one is hypertension, diabetes, obesity, physical inactivity, smoking, and other, of course, inherited factors which we cannot control.
The open day included 7 stations, focusing on taking the history and initial demographic data, measuring blood pressure and sugar level, and familiarizing the public with the major hereditary heart disease along with how to diagnose them using echocardiogram.
Today we are in Grand Mall to celebrate World Heart Day, to distribute awareness about the heart problems and other issues. So my table is going to be about congenital heart diseases and what services we can give to our patients, like ultrasound and whatever cath and surgeries we can provide for them.
The event also shed light on educating the public on how to recognize the signs and symptoms of a heart attack. It also provided health-related information, including dietary guidance and healthy life habits. Prevention is better than cure. The celebration of World Heart Day signifies the value of maintaining healthy lifestyle to improve our heart's health and overall well-being. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
On the sidelines of the World Trade Organization Public Forum in Geneva, Asyad Group organised a panel discussion under the title Leadership Beyond the Veil, which highlighted Omani women's engagement in business and the community. The speakers at the discussion panel commended the role of Omani women at building the economy and society, which falls within the World Trade Organization's 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development Goals. The discussion made a comparison between the typical women's status in the Arab world and Omani women assuming leading positions in the political and business arenas based on their capabilities and prowess. His Excellency Al Rabi, the Sultanate's permanent ambassador to the United Nations, pointed out during the discussion that the women participating in the panel are part of the Omani community as entrepreneurs who are backing the national economy and promoting local, regional and international trading. Her Excellency Monique Valdalam, permanent representative to the Kingdom of the Netherlands to the United Nations, who was the moderator at the panel, stated that Omani women are helping to make the Omani economy stronger. The discussion attracted positive remarks from the audience and speakers as they called for more discussion of such nature to be held to showcase Omani women empowerment that started in the 1970s with His Majesty Qaboos bin Said becoming the Sultan of Oman. The Sultanate celebrated National Safety Day under the auspices of His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed bin Obaid Al Saidi, Minister of Health. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Rabai.
A ceremony on National Patient Safety Day was held this morning, the celebration of which came under the theme Medication Safety at Transitions of Care, was organized in coincidence with the World Patient Safety Day that falls on September 17 every year. Around 200 pharmacists, doctors, nurses working in the Ministry of Health, Sultan Qaboos University Hospital, Armed Forces, Medical Services, Royal Oman Police Hospitals, Medical Services of Diwan of the Royal Court, along with the participation of WHO representatives, attended this celebration.
We are very proud in Oman to be the leaders in patient safety, and Oman proposed to WHO to have an annual day to celebrate patient safety for awareness of the importance of patient safety. Oman implemented patient safety-friendly hospitals program, and 8 of our hospitals already accredited by WHO for this matter. These 8 hospitals, both from the private sector and the government, and our aim by 2020 to have all our hospitals accredited. The patients have the right to receive a safe treatment in safe institutions and by safe and well-trained clinicians and healthcare providers. This issue, unfortunately, is worrying for all healthcare system in the world. In the United States, where they have appropriate statistics, there's 100 million patients a year who receive either the wrong dose of medication or the wrong medications. We are definitely in the process of reducing this in Oman. Our statistics are much less, but the wrong medication can lead to very severe consequences, complications.
Steady developments in the medical industry at the diagnostic, therapeutic and rehabilitation levels have created some complications and gaps, which would affect the patient safety in the health institutions. For this reason, the patient safety issue became the main pillar to improve the healthcare quality.
This is an event that shows great commitment and leadership for improving patient safety at the national level. Actually, this is an awareness day where people can show their achievement in terms of patient safety interventions, patient safety initiatives. And you know that at the regional level, we are very happy to see that Oman is driving like a movement for patient safety through different initiatives. These include community awareness, for example. These include also work that is related to developing education and training related to patient safety. And also, we know that in Oman, we have the implementation of the Patient Safety Friendly Hospital Initiative.
The celebration is aimed at disseminating knowledge and raising awareness among the health providers in the field of patients and medication safety, shedding the light on the modern scientific basis of healthcare practices and pharmacy, as well as reviewing the latest developments in the research and best practices applied in the field of drug safety. The celebration included the announcement of the WHO Collaborative Center for Quality and Patient Safety. The WHO has announced that the Sultanate has been chosen to be the WHO Collaborative Center within the ministerial meeting, the road to the universal health coverage in the Eastern Mediterranean region, EMR, organized by the WHO and hosted by the Sultanate last September. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
Still to come in our news bulletin. A seminar on the historical aspects between Muscat and Zanzibar was held in Muscat. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The Board of Trustees of Vocational Colleges discussed in its first meeting the strategic plan and vocational education and training. The meeting also dealt with partnership among vocational colleges and private sector establishments, qualifying Omani youths to join specialised jobs in maritime companies and developing national vocational criteria as per the needs of oil and gas sector. The meeting was chaired by Her Excellency Dr. Muna bint Salam Al Garadaniya, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Manpower for Technical Education and Vocational Training. The current investment value in Sahar Industrial Estate reached more than 2,200,000,000 Omani Riyals, as per the number of projects in the estate reached 315 in various economic activities. This came in a meeting gathering the public establishment for industrial estates with officials from operating companies in Sahar Industrial Estate. The meeting also discussed challenges facing investors in the estate and future plans. New services were added by the Ministry of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources. It started the implementation of electronic services of technical affairs divisions in all municipalities under its supervision. The move came in implementation of the Ministry's electronic transformation plan. It also came within its endeavour to develop the work environment to streamline procedures and facilitate its services rendered to citizens. The Omani Society for Writers and Literati at its headquarters held a seminar on the historical aspects between Muscat and Zanzibar. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rabai.
From Muscat to Zanzibar was the theme of a seminar that touched the historical aspects related to the common history between the two regions and their social impact. The seminar, that was led by the Omani researcher Dr. Saeed al-Mahdhouri, specialized in the history of East Africa, witnessed presentations from three outstanding Omani researchers, which attracted the audience, particularly the Omani historians. The researcher Saeed al-Nu'mani's paper focused on aspects of the influence that resulted from the migration of the Omani Julandans to the coast of East Africa in the 1st century AD, presenting features that are exhibited through some archaeological evidence and the existing historical information block. The researcher Nasser al-Rawahi gave a historical perspective on Pemba Island in Zanzibar, whereat he focused on the relations between the two regions in social and religious effects. The researcher Nasser al-Riyami specialized in East Africa. His paper dealt with some aspects related to the linguistic effects between the two regions and the origin of the Swahili language, plus the existence of theories about its relevance, especially in the light of the existence of many manifestations of debate on this subject, leaning more towards the Arabic source.
The symposium was an eye-opener for all of us, those who have been to East Africa or those who haven't been there. It was very informative and very interesting, and it opens so many venues for future research into the language perspective or other religious, cultural, social perspective.
The poet Ahmed al-Abri gave a fascinating poem that addressed the glory of Zanzibar at that time. The seminar gave a distinctive and intensive history of relations between Oman and Zanzibar in particular, and Africa in general. It's worth mentioning that these seminar series are part of the plan of the History Committee at the Association in order to highlight the documentation in this specific field. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
5 Gulf cities were selected by the Ministry of Tourism to organise mobile promotion workshops about tourism in the Sultanate. The Mobile Promotion Initiative will start its first station in the Qatar capital Doha next Sunday. The organisation of these promotion activities in Doha, Kuwait, Jeddah, Riyadh and Dubai respectively came within the efforts of the Ministry and other Omani tourism bodies to promote the touristic potentials and destinations during summer and winter seasons. During these visits, the participants from different travel and tourism agencies and establishments in the Sultanate will meet their counterparts in the Gulf tourism market. Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of cloud accumulation and scattered rainfall over the Hajar Mountains. Low clouds and fog late at night and early morning are expected over the coasts of the Arabian Sea. Winds will be southeasterly, light to moderate. Seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1.25 metres. This is a Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Sultanate in the United Kingdom stressed that the joint military exercise Safe Saraya 3 came in the framework of exchanging expertise between the two friendly countries. The United Nations praises the Sultanate's efforts in providing high-level services for patients. And Asyad Group discusses in Geneva the role of the Omani woman in economy and building the community. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, have a good weekend and good night.